So, big like activations. I didn't know it'd be so beautifully sunny today because I'm in a colder environment than usual, and like language coming through, hands as well. So some people might be going through the activations as well. I'm keeping a lot more practices private since I've started the channel and done some demonstrations of the things that move through me, because I think once you start to honour yourself differently, and also just become more private with the practices, like you want to demonstrate a certain level of awareness of certain energies that are moving through that other people might be resonating with across the collective, regardless of whether other people find it funny, amusing, or they don't understand it. It's okay. We've all got ways of allowing energy to flow through our bodies, and some of us use dance, some of us play music, sing, cry, need to do a lot more physical exercise or hit punch bags just because of the amount of things that can come through. And so this whole sedentary life that has been pushed by modern society actually takes us away from our connection to the energy that can move through us, energies from higher realms, also from darker energies, but it stops us from knowing what is best for our body, what is best for our mind, what is best for integrating practices that help us elevate on the human realm in a physical form, but also connect higher. And the reason why I was called onto this, I don't know where that channel just came from, but basically what I'm reflecting on after the whole remembrance over the past 4 or 5 years are very, very different stages of spiritual learnings. I mean, I believe we're all spirit beings, so when I say spiritual, that word is kind of redundant for me. It is life. I think what I'm kind of just what's flowing through my brain at the minute is that I went so high. I went very, very low, like to the darkness of darknesses, and it wasn't my own. I met energies that I'd never been presented with before, and I guess that's part of a shamanic calling. Like, I didn't know that existed. I'd never felt it. I had to allow that to move through my body in ways that felt natural or healing to me, and that took a number of I was going to say days, months and years to move through, but also methods of practice. But then you can also get catapulted high up in terms of connecting with the galactic self. Like, once we do a lot of the ancestry and the roots, or whoever's calling us to whatever realms, wherever we need to do the healing, when we also fly high in terms of connecting with bodies and energies that are beyond this stratosphere, Earth, and our solar system. This is if we believe this. Other people are not open to this belief, but that's fine. We can only root ourselves or just move with the thoughts that present themselves at that moment in time and that level of consciousness. But I think I went so high, and this, again, it's not comparative to anybody else, like, oh, I'm higher than anyone. No, from what my mind had ever comprehended energetically before, from what my auric field had ever tasted or touched or been in contact with ever before, that it has taken me a while to come back. And I don't like the word say come back down or descend, ascend. As we ascend, we also have to sort of integrate into the 3D reality. Whether the 3D disappears or not, whatever, like, this is a corporeal form. And there's this physical world, Earth, and practical life, you know, to get us to the end of our days, centurion or whatever we've signed up for. But we can't just live in the clouds. I say we can't. I don't want to. Other people may want to live in the clouds. I can't decide for them. I know that, as people might say, oh, she's away with the fairies or anything. There's connections to other worldly energies that are very new to me, and that might come across as simply folklore or simply stories or fairy tales, which I don't believe. I think everything that has been written and has been thought up in the human mind exists. There's so much we don't know, so much we don't overstand as a collective, and that is why a lot of us are going through deep remembrances right now. So I think for me it's like that. Now that I've gone so high, 2024 and what Kenya provided me with, because it'd been quite a long time since I've been to the motherland, like going every year for about 10-15 years, maybe also to the islands and the Caribbean a bit in between. But my sort of one big trip that I saved up for is I hadn't done for 4 years. You know, I got sort of moved in different directions, called, pulled, energetically manipulated, who knows. Well, I do know, but you know, that's just the phrase we use as humans. Who knows? And also, to be honest, we don't really need to know what's coming. That's the whole level of like leaning into the unknown right now, and not needing to know things for certain, because we trust, because we've done the work, because we know who we are, because we're not going to have people tell us who we are. We're not going to be swayed by anybody else's opinions or decisions that they make for themselves and their lives. That's cool. If people like to serve up advice, that's cool as well. But we have to know ourselves, and we have to know what to let in one ear, let out the other, or things we might need to ruminate on for a little bit, you know. But I realised the motherland this time round, I'm on the road again. Things present themselves unexpectedly, and I don't always know where I'm moving to. So I'm very grateful for what the land gave me, because there was a level of grounding that after that healing journey from my last trip abroad in 2023, that was the longest stint as well, I didn't know that I was just, yeah, very, very high. And it feels good to be more embodied in my own learnings, more embodied in my self, more embodied in my focus, my goal, my vision, and what I see for those that I love and people around me, which I'm very, very selective about now. And that is not arrogance, which some people have suggested. This is protection. It takes many of us lifetimes to know ourselves, and it took me an awakening at 35, or remembrance at 35, or a crash bang wallop to get to the point where I had to do some real hard graft. And I'm grateful for all the challenges, because I've got to connect with energies that are just beyond, were previously beyond my human comprehension, and now they touch my heart in ways that I need as a deep lover. Like, my love is global, it's huge, it's eternal. So what I didn't realise about some of the relationships that I've had in my life is that they've not been able to hit me, touch me in the heart, in the way that I sometimes can give out. And this is not to compare, it's just everybody has a different level of their self-awareness, of giving, of also love, because many people sadly still do not know love, and I wish them love and healing on their journey, and trust that they will always find someone to help them elevate and give them pure love, and not toxic codependencies or any abusive chat. But to keep this light and bright as the sun shines is whatever practice we choose to dig deeper, whatever path we want to look in, occult, dark arts, intergalactics, folklore, shamanism, medicine, plant medicine, witches, anything that draws us to things that society may consider taboo. People also, you know, with water placement, you know, scorpionic and Pluton and high priestess placements, like, tend to obviously have a comfortability in those darker, more emotional spaces, unexplored spaces, than other people in the collective with less of those elements in their chart. That doesn't mean we can't connect it. It's just an elemental life. We need to connect with the water. We need to lean into the unknown, and we need to just listen and be still. Working for ourselves purely, really. I mean, we're not here to live for ourselves, that's not what I mean. We are here to work and know ourselves, and that's the mission for the end of the light until the day we leave the realm. But we're not here to live for ourselves. That's a big distortion, and we've been misguided as the people from the West to think it's all about what we want, what we desire. How many trips can I get in this? And how much can I do? How can I? We're not meant to live like this. We are meant to be in communities, and people might come in and out, and they'll have different roles. And nomadic lifestyle suits many people, as lots of people know from the tiny house movement and things that are going on globally for a good decade now, and even more. You know, people pulled themselves off grid a long time ago just because they'd seen beyond the veil. Some might resonate with, you know, Plato's cave, coming out the cave and seeing things that we once didn't see. But if the galactics, if there are otherworldly energies talking to you and stuff, just ensure that the daily practice also bring us back to the physical body, you know, what we're nourishing. It's lovely to say we keep grounding and everything, but also just eating leaves and plants and natural foods also is an element that is of earth element and grounding, because all of this stuff comes from the earth. So I just wanted to share a little reflection. I don't really know why, but I feel good to know that I'm back in a more integrated way than ever. I feel like a whole brand new version of myself, and that's obviously in line with this new rebirth and transformational age that we're in, but also more me than ever. Like I've known she's always there, like nothing's actually changed, because this is who I always am. And so that deep remembrance is so comforting, because it's just like, this is who I was always meant to remember, and it was never about anybody else. That concept, obviously we've got to meet people on the way, and the divine mirrors help us shine back on ourselves, the areas that we need to work on, or also when people tell us about ourselves, areas that we can ignore from other people if we are not in alignment, if you know. So I don't know, get the light codes, things coming through, and whatever these words I'm speaking or other people speaking, we know things much more in the non-verbal before sometimes words come to us, or we hear them or see them or read them or need validation from others. So yeah, please let it be a time of grounding, lightness, knowing thyself, 1303, and we don't live for ourselves.